Hi, this is Katie. In today's video, I want to talk about making money online. Obviously, there are like an infinite amount of ways to make money online from your computer, from wherever you are. But I just want to talk about a few steps that I think you need to take before you even try to look for jobs online or try to even start your own business online. I have two really important things that I think you need to figure out before you even start the whole process. I guess these are like the first two steps of the process of working online. I think they're really important to make sure that the job that you get or the business that you start is actually what's right for you. And so if you are interested in this video, I really hope that you're subscribed and I hope that you keep watching. So as I mentioned in a video from a few weeks ago, I have worked online since I was about 21 years old, so for about 14 years. Not every single job I've had was online, but a lot of my jobs have been online. In that video from a few weeks ago, I give you a list basically of all the jobs that I've had and kind of explain to you how I got started doing that. And so if you're curious, you can watch that video up here. But basically, most of my jobs online were being a writer, copywriter, blog writer, editor, proofreader, transcriber, virtual assistant, doing customer service, and now doing YouTube, Instagram, my blog, a bunch of stuff like that. There literally are like an infinite amount of ways that you can make money online. And I'm not really going to give you guys like specific job advice. This is not going to be like here, just go on Indeed or go on Craigslist or go on LinkedIn and like apply for a job. That's not really what I'm gonna be talking about right now. I want to talk more about like the specifics of the vague idea of working online, like the specifics of how to get started, but in a vague way that could work for anyone, no matter what you want to be doing, if that makes sense. Because I feel like a lot of people really wish they could make money online, whether it's like a full-time income, a little side gig. I think a lot of people wish they could do that. And I think that it can definitely work for basically any single person if you have the discipline, the mindset, and the work ethic. I think really anyone can make money online in a way that's right for them. And so I just kind of want to give you two like real big pieces of advice if you're just getting started. If you're like, I kind of want to work online, I want to, you know, be able to work from home with my kids, or I just really want like a little side hustle to do on the weekends or anything like that. If you're like, oh, I kind of want to work online, but I just really don't know where to start, this is the video for you. And I'm going to give you two like active things that you are going to do. Like, I really want you to like take out like a pencil and a piece of paper or get your notes out on your phone and actually like really think this out and take notes. And like, these are just some proper steps that you can take. Okay, does that make sense? The two really important things that you need to figure out before you start are what type of work you want to do and what niche you want to be in. Because I think, again, I think some people are like, well, I want to work online, so I'm just going to go to Indeed and just look for a job online. I think that, and if you guys have watched any of my videos before, whether I'm talking about traveling, goals, working, anything like that, I think something like this goes a lot deeper. I don't think that you should just take whatever first job you see online. I don't think that you should just buy whatever first course you see if you don't know if it's gonna line up with what you want. I don't really think that you should just follow what everyone else is doing. I think you really need to find what's right for you. And you can get inspiration from other people, and there might be some courses that are out there that are right for you. I've purchased online courses before. There are going to be some areas that are right for you, but you need to figure out what is right for you and not just follow what someone else is doing. You got to figure it out for yourself. So the two ways to do that are choosing your niche, which is like the topic or the area that you're going to be working in or talking about, and then the type of work that you want to do. And so, which should I talk about first? Let's talk about, I think the second one first, because it's a little bit of a quicker thing. So when I'm talking about the type of work you want to do, I'm basically saying that you need to figure out if you want to work a job for someone else that just happens to be online, but it's kind of more of a 9-to-5 thing. You just happen to work online. Or you can figure out if you want to do freelance, where you want to just kind of sell a service and or do just anything else that counts as freelance work. Or the third option really is if you want to have your own business, whether it's having your own YouTube channel, having your own course that you want to sell, having your own business, like you own it, you are either the face of it or just like the person who's like really running it, and it's like exactly yours. So basically how I would see it as there's kind of like three separate things. You want to work for someone else, you want to work for yourself, or you want to do somewhere in the middle where like you're working for yourself, but you have clients. But so like you can still decide when you're working, what clients you're taking on, stuff like that. So for me, I have done all three. I have worked 9 to 5 online doing customer service, doing transcribing, writing, proofreading, stuff like that. I have done that and I loved that. I really, really did. I've also done more in the middle ground where I had my own transcribing business where I would get my own clients, choose who I worked with. I also did some proofreading in that way as well, and copywriting too, that it was just kind of get this amount done, but it doesn't matter what hours you work or anything like that. And where I just kind of freelanced my own time and my own work that I was doing. And then now with YouTube, I'm doing my own thing. I am my own boss. I get to put out whatever content I want, whatever days I want, whatever time I want. I get to choose everything. And you really can just figure this out for yourself, which area is best, working full-time for someone else, being a freelancer, or owning your own business. Like a freelancer is kind of like the in-between, like you have your own clients, but you're doing your own work, right? But you just got to decide which one's right for you, basically by just being really honest with yourself of saying, you know what, I do work better with a strict schedule that someone else sets for me, or I really do work better being managed by someone else or having a boss. Some people really work better that way, and some people work better being their own boss. So this is just something to think about, really, just which is right for you, because that's gonna lead you into really deciding what type of job you're gonna get or what kind of business you're gonna start for yourself. And so, you know, think about that, think out loud, even, you know, do a little bit more research even on what freelance really means, or even maybe do some research on Indeed or something like that. Like, okay, what jobs even are out there? What would that be like? You know, think about it. And then obviously owning a business really could be anything. And so you can just think about those things, figure that out. And then once you kind of realize, okay, you know what, no, I want to do one of these things, then I think the next thing that you need to do is figure out your niche. Your niche is essentially the area that you are going to be in. So a niche, if you're starting a business, like say, take my YouTube channel for an example, right? When I really started, my niche was a little broad. Honestly, how I started is not how I would recommend you start now, because I started my YouTube channel a very long time ago. And honestly, I think that if I followed the advice that I know now from everything that I've learned over the years of working online, working for other entrepreneurs, if I started now, I feel like I would have done it a little bit differently because I was a little vague when I started. My channel was like travel and lifestyle. Now, honestly, I think a niche should be a little bit more specific. And so basically when you're choosing your niche, this is how I always learned it. Like literally when I was working for entrepreneurs back when I was like in my early 20s, and I'm 35 now, so a really long time ago, I learned how to choose a niche. What these entrepreneurs taught is to figure out what you're good at, what you love, and what can make money, and make a little like Venn diagram and see what overlaps. And then I myself kind of add how you can help people and what God wants you to do as well. And I think that these things are really important because again, I do not recommend just following someone else. If they're promoting, you know, drop shipping, or if they're promoting blogs, or if they're promoting being a photographer, whatever it is, yeah, that could work for you, but you need to figure it out for yourself. Don't just blindly follow someone else because they're being flashy about how much money they made or how easy it is, okay? Because we're not going for easy. We're going for what's right, what's good, what's helpful, and what we're good at. You know, so I would encourage you guys, if you're interested in this kind of thing, to make a list. When you're thinking about your niche, what area you want to talk about or work in, write down a list of the things that I just mentioned, specifically what you're good at and what you enjoy. And I think that those are really important because obviously if you're good at it, it's something that you can spread and help other people, right? Because that's kind of the whole point. Like really with any job or any career or any business, you're helping someone in some way. I don't care if you're working fast food, if you're working at a clothing store, if you are a doctor, if you are selling courses how to make money online, I don't care. Every single job is helping someone with something, whether it's food, entertainment, shelter, kindness, a smile, like there's a lot of different ways to help people, and you need to figure out which one is right for you and how you can help the best way that you can. And so I really want to encourage you guys, write down a list of what you're good at, what you really, really enjoy, and then be honest if you think that you can make money from it. Because I really do think that most things that you're good at and you enjoy can make money. Not all of them, but I think a lot can. And then think of a way that that can help people. And specifically also, and I think that this kind of goes in with like the what you're good at and what you enjoy, but think about where God is leading you. I think that's really, really important. And one of the reasons that I say don't just go after what you're good at, but actually also go after what you enjoy is because if you're just going after something for the money and that you know you can do it, or the money and you know it's easy, you're just gonna be a little bit more likely to not stick with it when it gets hard. Because it's gonna be rare that you're gonna start a business or start looking for jobs online and after a month become a millionaire, or a month become super successful. You know, you're gonna go through a lot of ups and downs especially when you're starting your own business and doing freelance. But even if you are applying for jobs online and you start working for someone else, there's always gonna be ups and downs. And so if you don't enjoy it, you're just gonna be a little bit more likely to quit, or to get mad about it, or to resent it, or to not stick with it. And that's not really gonna help you be successful, right? I really did not make much money on YouTube for almost 3 years after consistent uploads. I uploaded twice a week for 3 years before I really made any money. If I did not enjoy it, I probably would have quit after the first 6 months. And if I did not find value in it, and if I did not really think this is what I was supposed to be doing and what God wanted me to do, I probably would have given up. Just be like, oh, this is hard, I'm not making any money, whatever, I don't care, I'm just gonna give up. But I stuck with it, and 3 years later I started making money, and now it's like my full-time gig and I love it. And so yeah, I want to encourage you, write those 5 things down and just start writing some stuff. Write some stuff that you think of. And again, it could be anything. If you enjoy cooking, write that down. If you enjoy babysitting, write that down. If you enjoy makeup, if you enjoy collecting records, write that down. Then really, again, think if you want to do something freelance, work for yourself or work for someone else. And then there are a million more steps after that. But these are, I think, just the really, really 2 biggest steps. Figure out exactly what you want to be doing and what niche that you want to be in. And a couple pieces of advice about choosing a niche. Especially, I'm gonna go a little bit more towards if you're doing freelance or working for yourself. Because if you're looking for a job and you're like, you know what, I love numbers. I love working in numbers. It's really interesting to me, right? So maybe you're just gonna go on Indeed or one of those job sites and you're gonna look for data processing jobs or accounting jobs or whatever you wanna do with numbers, right? So that one, you can stay a little broad with your niche. And then when you're looking for jobs, then you can maybe narrow it down, see which one interests you the most, or see which company seems really cool to work for, right? But specifically, if you want to be freelance or have your own business, I have a couple pieces of advice on how to choose your niche. So say the thing that you found in your little Venn diagram that you did, the thing that you found is like, you know what? I want to teach people how to do makeup. Okay, you love makeup, you think that you can really be good at teaching, and you really want to have your own YouTube channel, say, and do makeup videos. I love watching makeup videos. So, a couple pieces of advice. Number 1, get as like specific and narrowed down as you possibly can. Remember earlier I said, if I was starting now, I wouldn't really just be travel and lifestyle. I would do something more specific. And car travel, living in a car, was very specific, and it still is very specific, but I would have stuck to just doing that. And I would have waited till my channel grew more to add in the lifestyle stuff. Because I think when you're starting out, choosing your niche, be as specific as possible. So if you want to do makeup, think, okay, you know what? I want to do makeup for people over 55 who still want to be glam. Okay, that's specific. Or I want to write a cookbook. Okay, well, what kind of cookbook? Well, I want to write a cookbook. What niche, right? I want to write a cookbook for toddlers who have food allergies, who are picky eaters, and they only have a few different things they can eat. I want to write a cookbook for that. Get as specific as you can, especially when you're starting out, because you know what? If you just Google makeup video, there's gonna be millions and millions to choose from. But if I'm really interested in, I wanna look at like over 55 glitter eyeshadow, that's a specific thing, and they're just gonna be more likely to find you and want to watch you because you're so specific with what your viewers or your target audience wants to buy. Because you really, really, really also need to find out what your target audience is. And then, so when you get to selling your product or promoting your product or just advertising yourself, then you will know who your target audience is. And again, I'm being a little vague here on purpose because I'm trying to talk to every single person who wants to make money online. If I was just talking about if you want to get in the cooking niche, there could be a ton of content just on that. I just wanted to be vague and talk about just any niche, really. I just really think that it could be helpful for you, but also for your target audience to find you and to enjoy what you're doing and to like want to come back to you if you have something specific. You know, same with if you want to be a freelance photographer. Just kind of decide, well, what area do I want to do photography in? And I know in the beginning you might kind of take anything, right, for experience, but once you really start going, just try to be as specific as possible, because then you're just more likely to get more followers and more people who might want to hire you. Because if you say I'm a photographer versus I am a wedding photographer who specializes in winter weddings and I will travel anywhere but destination winter weddings, one is a lot more specific, right? And again, it's gonna be a lot easier for people to follow you and for people to like trust you more and want to even see what you're doing because they understand specifically what you're doing. And then, especially if you're doing something like YouTube or social media, if you start out really niche specific, once you start really growing, then yeah, maybe you can also show your workouts or your makeup or your day-to-day life, right? But that's kind of more once you start growing and you get a following and people start to be interested in you and not just exactly the niche that you started with. But that's kind of after a while. When you're just starting, I really do think that it's a good idea to stick with one niche. And especially when you're doing YouTube and when you're doing Instagram, you might want to say lifestyle, right? Because it's easy to say that because then you just kind of can show whatever you want. Here's the thing, even if you're doing something like that, try to figure out how to do it, which I would not recommend doing lifestyle as your first niche. I wouldn't recommend. I would recommend maybe getting into that after you've grown. But even if you do want to do something that's lifestyle, still figure out what your spin on it is going to be, okay? Maybe you have a funny saying that you're gonna say, or like literally, like there's some cooking channels that I love on YouTube and on Instagram, and some of them have very specific things that they do. I do not believe that any market is oversaturated. I don't believe that. I think that when people say that, it's a cop-out. I really do. Because even if you wanna go into a saturated market, like makeup, cooking, travel, whatever, you personally, I'm talking to you specifically right now, whoever's watching this, you have a specific thing that you can share that nobody else has. So whether it's your tone of voice, your perspective, your past experiences, whatever it is, you have a personal thing, a personal brand that only you can offer. And that's why I was saying don't just follow what everyone else is doing, because you need to figure out what's right for you and then put your personal spin on it. And so maybe you're a chef and you want to do cooking shows, but you also want to show all your mistakes that you do, because you want to be real personable, right? Or maybe there's one cooking Instagram account that I was looking at the other day where this guy posts, minute-long videos, and twice during his videos, he takes dance breaks and just dances for like 5 seconds. And I'm like, that is memorable. That's memorable. That makes you stick out, and that's memorable. There's also one other guy that I watch on Instagram who does food reviews, but he does them all in his car. That's memorable. It's just when you're choosing a niche, if you're too broad and if you just try to do what everyone else is doing, you're not gonna be memorable. And so when you're choosing your niche, just be specific and then really figure out how you can have your own spin on it, what your own background, what your personality, what your knowledge can bring to the table. Because again, I do not think that any market is oversaturated. You just have to figure out how you are going to stand out. And so that's kind of how to choose your niche, and also just kind of choose what area you want to get into. And so obviously I could talk about this stuff. I love talking about entrepreneurship and working online and that kind of stuff. I could talk about this stuff forever, but I just wanted to make a couple videos like this, trying to just help you guys get started. And really just like, I don't know where to start is a really overwhelming place to be. If you're like, I want to do this, but I don't know where to start, that keeps a lot of people from doing anything at all. I really am a firm believer of just start. Yes, think about it and have some ideas and a plan, whatever that means for you, but just start. Don't get caught up in researching for years before you do something. Don't get caught up in like, oh, I don't really know. I don't know if I'm gonna like this. I don't know. Oh, well, did I edit that right? Just post it. Just do it. Just start your website. Just start applying for jobs. Again, have a good resume. Make sure that you do a little bit of research before you choose what website hosting and your domain name and stuff. Do some research, do some thinking, yes, but don't let the thinking become part of your procrastination, because at some point you just have to start. A lot of my videos, I was watching some of my old videos. I've been doing YouTube for 7 years. I've been watching some of my old videos and they're not good. They're not good, but I started, and I kept going. And I really think that just starting, having discipline, so even doing some stuff even when you don't really want to, but it's really good, and having like that kind of routine, whatever that means for you, and having the focus and putting the time and effort into it and treating it like a job are really, really important. Because if you want to write a book, but you're just kind of like, oh, I'll write it when I have free time, you know what? You're probably never gonna finish it. And if you do, it's gonna take a lot longer than if you say, I'm gonna write this book from 7 to 8 every night. You know, having discipline and really choosing, this is what I'm going to do and I'm gonna chase after it with every part of my being. Yes, you might have a family, you might have another job, you might have other stuff you need to focus on, but just make sure that you make this a priority. Because yes, there are some people who just stumbled upon having an Instagram account that grew, right? That does happen, but then that's just relying on other people. There are some things that you can take charge in and that you can control. And some of those are discipline, like actually choosing what you're doing and really sticking with it and not giving up and showing yourself, showing your own voice. And honestly, this is even something like, I'm glad I'm doing this video because this is even something that I struggled with. Over the years, I've struggled with having my own voice at certain times in certain videos because I've gotten nervous of offending people or people getting mad at me or people twisting my words around, you know? But we really have to work through those kinds of like nervous what ifs. We really have to. And it's hard. It's really hard to do all this stuff, okay? But if you want to do it, you got to figure out a way to do it. And you got to push yourself. And so I hope that this video kind of helped just maybe find a place to start, you know, and really decide what niche you're in. Because again, I don't want you just taking any online job just because someone else made money from it or because it's the only job available, or I don't want you starting some business just because someone else did. I want you to really make sure that what you're doing is right for you personally as a human. And so hopefully those few steps can help you make a choice or at least get there. Hey guys, my camera is not working and it keeps shutting off. I actually need to buy a new camera in the next week or so here, but I just wanted to close out this video really, really quickly before it shuts off again. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that it was helpful in some way if you are someone who wants to start working online or start a business. If you have any specific questions, please let me know in the comments. Maybe I can do a couple other videos like this as well, and then again, do 1 or 2 specific videos about YouTube. But this video, I just wanted to give you guys some help and some inspiration on like how to get started if you have no clue where to get started. So I hope that this video was helpful, and I really hope that you're subscribed for more content like this and travel content and lifestyle stuff as well. So yeah, thank you again for watching, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. I love you, Jesus loves you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.